And hello to everyone out there. Welcome back to the Threes on Fire podcast. The gang is all here. Sadell, John, myself, Irvin. Listen, apologies to all of you out there for this long hiatus. I got to be honest. It's partly because of my superstitions, man. The Eagles went on this long winning streak while we were off. We did have a plan to go on after the Super Bowl, but I got sick. I contracted the flu, which, more than likely happened the night when I took my goofy ass out there on Broad Street celebrating. And now, but here's the thing. I got over it, right? I got over it. But then I still had trouble talking. So all of the screaming and hollering that I was doing did a number on my vocal cords. Like, it took a week for my voice to get back to normal. I'm still not quite fully normal yet, but it's a lot better than it was like a week and a half. So fellas, feels great to be back. Number one.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But it feels even better to be back sitting here after an Eagles Super Bowl championship.
Absolutely.
Birds dominated the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59, winning 40-22. But don't let the final score fool you. This was not a close game by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, the score was 40-6 with just under 3 minutes to play. A.J. Brown was giving Nick Sirianni the Gatorade bath. And then Mahomes ended up throwing two of the most meaningless touchdown passes in Super Bowl history to close the game out. This was one of the most shocking games I've ever seen, fellas. I got to be honest. I did not expect the Eagles to go out there and dominate this game the way that they did. Now, I'm not going to say I didn't expect the Eagles to win, but the way that they won, the Chiefs were being crowned as one of the greatest dynasties we'd ever seen. And I know a lot of that is recency bias, but they were giving the Chiefs that game. It was over by halftime. Let's tell the truth. The competitive nature of this game was over by halftime. The Chiefs had one first down in the first half. One. And they didn't reach midfield until after the score was 34-0. Fangio, whatever defensive game plan he called was it had Mahomes in a bottle. Mahomes, and they weren't calling blitzes. It was a 4-man front just whooping Mahomes' ass all night. So my question about the game, fellas, at what point did you know that the game was over? Where it's the Chiefs have no chance
now. Probably by the third quarter, because I gave it till halftime. I'm like, Mahomes may have a chance to score like a couple, but if you've watched them all year, they've been barely getting by on wins. They haven't smoked anybody at all.
Right.
And I'm like, we got a shot to beat these guys this time. 2 years ago was the iffy part, not this year.
Yep. Sadell, when did you know it was over?
Well, for me, if I'm correct, they came out the second half with the ball and didn't do anything with it. And once they did that, I was like, oh yeah, it's done.
See,
it was that simple for me.
Yeah, and for me, honestly, it was the way that they ended the first half. That Zach Bond interception, and then Brown gets the touchdown pass, and then Hopkins dropping that wide open pass where it looked like he had nothing but field in front of him.
Yeah.
You look at the Chiefs' body language coming off the field, going into the locker room. They look defeated. They look done. And then that first drive of the second half just confirmed, we can't beat these guys. There's nothing we can do that is going to stop what's happening right now. They were done. And I watched the mic'd up, and you can hear it in their voices. They were trying to,
hype themselves up.
They were trying to hype themselves up and get that confidence back vocally, just talking it up if the Patriots can come back, we can do something special here today too. Nah, this ain't the Falcons, buddy.
No,
this ain't the Falcons. This is not the Eagles were determined. what I told people in terms of this game, the Chiefs came into the game thinking they could win. The Eagles came into that game prepared to win.
Yeah.
They did almost everything right, and the Chiefs did almost everything wrong. And honestly, this was an Andy Reid special. Eagles fans who, grew up during that first Reid era here, where were the adjustments at?
No.
Where were the adjustments on offense? Where did you you didn't even try to run the ball. It was pass. Matter of fact, the sequence where Mahomes threw the pick six to Cooper DeJean, it was pass, play, sack. Pass, play, sack. Pass, play, pick six. Like, there was no attempt to even make that defense respect your run game. And they were beating you with 4 guys all night long. So all that bluster that they had after the first one and at the parade wearing the shirts that said 0 sacks. Listen, you got Patrick Mahomes' ass whooped. Now, I know the talking heads were saying, well, this loss defines Mahomes to a point where he's now excluded from the GOAT conversation because he's looked terrible in 2 Super Bowls. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far. I think he still has enough of a career in front of him that he could get back to the Super Bowl and win another one. Will he? I'm not sure. I don't know what kind of team the Chiefs are going to field around him. But they got lucky in a lot of these games this year. Like, honestly, I thought the Bills.
That's what I was saying.
I thought the Bills should have won the AFC Championship. I thought that they got cheated by the refs on that first down. It looked like Allen clearly had the first down, and you knew if you got into any situation where the game was going to be tight, all calls were going to Kansas City. All of them. Each and every last one was going to go in Kansas City's favor, which is why I'm glad this wasn't a close game. It's why I'm glad, and all of the non-Eagles fans in particular, the Dallas Cowboy haters who don't like the Eagles and won't give the Eagles props under any circumstances, you couldn't say, oh, well, y'all got lucky. Nah, dog.
No.
You up 40-6 on somebody. That's not luck.
No, that's not luck.
All right, well, listen, I got 5 questions for you guys as we, gear up for the draft and the start of the next season. And my first question is about the Eagles. What do you think the better move would be for the Eagles to do this offseason? Re-signing Zach Bond or trading for Myles Garrett? Now, that is assuming that they can't do both. Now, I know Howie. Howie's a genius, and Howie will find a way to make certain things happen. But assuming that it came down to Bond or Garrett, which one would you rather see the Eagles do?
That's a toughie.
I'll go first.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sadell.
Okay. I mean, the Eagles not my team, but I really think that they should give the money to Zach Bond and keep him because, for one, y'all defensive line is already a monster, and y'all have shown that y'all can draft defensive linemen. So I think y'all just kind of got an in-house thing where, that's not an issue. I get it, though. But Myles Garrett, beast.
I know.
But it's been hard for y'all to get good linebackers, especially that middle linebacker spot.
True.
This is the first time in a long time y'all had a dude that just kind of dominated the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows the system. That's why he was brought in. And just his kind of tenacity, he got a certain personality that fits with the Eagles culture, with the city's culture, seems like. And I think you keep Bond.
You got to go back to Jeremiah Trotter to find a middle linebacker that the Eagles had that was like a shit record, man. We're talking 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah.
Son, get out the way. trying to make international appearance. Get out of here, man. College kids, man. Look. And then he gonna sneak himself back into the camera. Everybody, this is my son Rodney over here. He's
You're
the
right.
one that
You're right.
played high school basketball and now is attending Temple. He just wanted to pop in real quick. Go upstairs, man. All right, yeah, but
Temple
no,
need all the help they can get on the court and the field. But
yeah, nah, you should listen, man. Go walk on, man.
yeah,
Hi,
for real.
Ariana. Get by, Ariana. Now all my kids want to try to get on the damn camera. Man. Y'all had all morning to mess with me. Now you want to mess with me. John, no. Who? Your opinion? What do you think? Vaughn or Garrett?
Oh, so this all depends on what happens with Josh Sweat, right? This is all predicated on Josh Sweat.
Okay.
So because we've had history of bad linebacking cores, by default, you probably gotta lock Vaughn up. And then see if you can maneuver to go get Garrett. But your first priority is sign your free agents, lock them up to about 3-4 year contracts. But Vaughn should definitely be a priority.
Okay, yeah, he is. Josh Sweat is a free agent.
Yeah. And so is Milton Williams. So
Williams too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta either try to renegotiate contracts. I don't know how you do it, but you do have more money to spend this off season as opposed to prior off season. So you can possibly get everything done, but your priority should be re-signing Zach Vaughn.
Yeah, I think Vaughn is the better choice here. Again, I would re-sign Vaughn. I would see what it's going to take to keep Sweat around.
Yeah.
Williams is Williams is expendable. I find somebody to take Bryce Huff tomorrow because he gave this team absolutely nothing. So I mean, I do what the 49ers did, how they took a fifth for Deebo Samuel and sent him packing to Washington. And I know everybody's talking about that move. It's low risk, high reward. Deebo looks out of shape. Like he looks like he didn't put on a lot of weight. Like even when he was at the Super Bowl wearing the AJ Brown jersey, he looked like he's about a tight end, man.
That's what I was going to say. He's about to be a tight end.
Yo, he on that Kelvin Benjamin diet. Yo, like how you blow up like that? Like how you blow up like that, dog? like, and I'm saying that not as a shot at y'all. He's the only wide receiver I've ever seen gain weight like that.
Yeah.
Ever. I've never seen a wide receiver blow up like that.
Yeah, that's true. All
right. Guys, give me a playoff
about
team.
What, 40 pounds, I think.
Yo, he was damn near 300. By the time he got to Buffalo, he was damn near 300. Like he had to be like 275, 280 when he got to Buffalo.
Yo, he was.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a playoff team that made the playoffs this past season that'll likely miss the playoffs in 2025.
From both sides, or just one period?
Either side. You can just give me one period. You can give me one from each conference if you like. Because I'll tell you right now, my pick from the NFC would be the Rams. I don't know what the Rams got going on this offseason. Looking like they're gonna let Stafford. Oh well, no, it looks like they're gonna keep Stafford, but
yeah.
I don't know. They caught a break. They caught a break in that division with Arizona falling apart and then Seattle falling apart. San Fran had all the injuries. I don't see them getting back into the playoffs coming season.
Yeah, they got such a tough division. And they're all like really even. So whoever wins is probably again going to be the only team that make it.
Yep.
I mean, you already know who I'm saying. Tampa.
You know what? Tampa makes sense as a pick here. Tampa definitely makes sense as a pick here. I think that the NFC South is going to be better next season. I think Carolina did some things. I mean, not saying they're going to jump all the way up into a playoff spot, but Carolina did some things at the end of the season. The benching clearly helped Bryce Young. He played a lot better down the stretch. They were in some tight games against playoff teams. Yeah. They gave the Chiefs a run. They gave the Eagles a run. They should have beaten Tampa if not for Chuba Hubbard fumbling the ball. Like they were pretty damn good down the stretch to make you think they'll at least be competitive within that division. I expect Atlanta to be better next year.
The Falcons gave the division away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to make of the Saints right now. I know Kellen Moore is going to be the new head coach down there, but they're bringing Derek Carr back. I don't like. They have no offense. I'm sorry, they have no offense. I don't care how good of a mind Kellen Moore is. He doesn't have the players right.
I don't think Carr is like the absolute problem with that. He did get hurt, but the fact of the matter is that Kamara is starting to break down.
Yep.
So about that running back, I mean, they only got one weapon, and that's the receiver. I forget his name right now.
Chris Olave.
Olave. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the only weapon, and the offensive line not that good either. So
true.
Don't they have the other receiver?
Thomas?
No, the other kid.
Because I was going to say Thomas is old and gone, I think.
No, it's the other kid that they have. He kept scoring all those long touchdowns.
The bomb plays.
Yeah.
I don't know. He got to prove himself more.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't name it.
Yeah.
He is a big play threat. But he's not like a consistent route runner. Like, I don't know. That's like kind of like the only thing he really does well.
Right.
It'd be him, right?
Who?
Now, you can't be talking about Valdez Scantlin, right? You can't be talking about
No, not MVS.
No.
It's a younger dude. John's right. It's I can't think of his dude's name.
He was a rookie. He's either rookie or second year. I forget his name.
So I'm looking. They got. Wait a minute. Second year. Where are we at? Cedric Wilson Jr. Dante Pettis.
No.
You said wide receiver?
Yeah.
The only other guys, Kevin Austin Jr. That's it. Those are their wide receivers.
No, there's got to be somebody else.
Listen. I literally just named all the receivers. Mason Tipton is other. Cedric Wilson Jr., Dante Pettis, Mason Tipton, Marquez Valdez Scantlin, and Kevin Austin. That's their receiver. That's their entire receiving corps.
There's somebody else on that team.
Nah, that's it. That's it.
There's got to be something.
The rest is running backs. The rest is running backs. Kamara, Williams, Kendre Miller, Jordan Mims.
There's somebody else on that.
And then that tight end is Jawan Johnson and some dude named
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, him.
Rashid. Okay. Yeah, all right, there it is. Rashid Shaheed. There you go.
I'm like looking too. I'm like, come on now. I know that.
Did he get hurt for the season?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, so that's why his name didn't pop up because he must have been on high. All right, so Rashid Shaheed. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, I like Rashid Shaheed. I do. I like him. He's actually pretty good. He's a pretty good wide receiver too.
Yeah.
All right, John, who you got missing the playoffs next year?
Probably Minnesota. Can I say Minnesota?
I don't know.
You know, they got to figure out their QB situation too. But Green Bay is gonna. I don't know. I ain't gonna say they are necessarily gonna leapfrog them, but them Detroit. I mean, are they gonna get 3 in again? I mean, and the Bears might come in. I don't know.
Listen, man, the Bears. You know what? And I think that's the one thing I can say that we didn't get a chance to talk about during the season. The Bears' collapse was epic. Like, it took one bad loss for their entire season to go off the rails. One bad loss. And I think, Homeboy was easily dumbass of the year because you're celebrating a game that's not even over yet. And then you're the one that tips the ball in the air that causes you to lose the game. But if we're talking about like dumbass moments from this past season, what happened against Detroit on Thanksgiving takes the cake.
Yeah.
You have a timeout. You're in field goal range.
Yep.
Call your timeout, run a play, and get the overtime.
Yeah.
Instead, you're letting the clock bleed out. I'm in a house full of non-Bears fans. We are all screaming at the TV. All of us. Like, what are you doing? Snap the ball. Dude, call timeout. Dude, like, I've never seen a house full of people who are not a fan of the team playing screaming at the TV for that team. And I'm glad Sadell, I said it before, I thought Eberflus was a horrible head coach. I couldn't believe they brought him back to come back last year after the way the year before ended.
Right.
He should have been gone. He should have been gone before the Thanksgiving game. But the Bears don't fire coaches in season, and then you have that piece of stupidity, and they still let my man have a press conference where he's talking about we did the right thing.
Oh,
but anyway, I'm looking at that division, and I see what you guys are saying. You don't know what you're going to get from Chicago.
Exactly. You just don't.
John, I think you may be right. Minnesota could be another one of those teams that are on the outside looking next year. But I think they have a good enough offense and a okay enough defense to make it as a wild card. The Rams, on the other hand, I just don't see it. I don't see it. All right, question number 3. Best possible landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. You guys can go in all you want. Personally, I think the best spot for him is on the couch at home, not in the league anymore. This guy is done. Whatever team brings him in, it's not going to be worth it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, guys are usually the last to know, and someone needs to tell Aaron Rodgers, go home, dog. So, what my man say? Put the fries in the bag. You're washed. It's over. It's over. But if there was a good enough spot for him besides home, where you guys think that should be at?
A good enough spot? Well, you know what I want to see. I don't know if it's the best spot, but what I want to see, so it could be hilarious, is that he goes to Minnesota.
So that he pulls the Favre.
So that his arc goes exactly like Brett Favre's.
Right. That would be hilarious.
That's why I couldn't get. That's why I started laughing before I said it. Like.
Yeah.
But I think, funny enough, the best spot, if it was a chance, Miami.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I don't see Miami. I don't see Miami cashing in on Tua just yet. I don't see that.
They're not going to do that.
No.
Nope. John, where you think he should go, man? I mean, assuming that nobody wants him.
Besides out the league?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be funny if he stays in Jersey and just goes to the other locker room for the Giants.
Yep. I honestly think that's what's going to happen, yo. I think Aaron Rodgers is listening. I think he's going to the Giants. And they'll be dumb enough to do it too. They will be dumb enough to do it. I mean, granted, they have some okay guys at the skill positions. And thank you, Joe Shane. We appreciate you over here in Philly for letting Saquon walk. But it's not going to matter. Like, honestly, it's not going to matter wherever Aaron Rodgers goes. Like, he's done. Yeah, it's over. He's Aaron Rodgers in name only, no longer ability. He has the name recognition to where he'll command some money wherever it is that he's going to go. He'll be a bridge guy that will sort of hold everything down until that team has their young starter ready to go. Yeah. But I don't see it. I don't see it. Other than the Giants, who have that need, I don't see where else he could possibly go.
Yeah.
All right, question number 4. Will Jaden Daniels avoid the sophomore slump next year?
Oh, go ahead, Toto.
I gotta ask you like the particulars of it. Like,
well, you know how it is. Listen, once these teams finally get a good look of you on film,
yeah,
you know, there are some quarterbacks who have great rookie seasons, and in that next year they hit the wall because teams have figured them out. I
okay.
honestly, again, I think that you saw a blueprint get laid for how to play against this guy in that NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
He's a damn good quarterback. I'm not going to sit up here and say he's not a good quarterback, but we've seen these 1-year wonders. Now, granted, I know RG3 was more of an injury thing, and somebody needs to be charged with a crime for what they did to RG3, trotting him out there knowing he was hurt as bad as he was. They wrecked that man's career.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he can avoid running into that wall next year. Because, again, like I said, once teams get enough film on you, they learn how to play you. They learn how to take away the things that you do well.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've seen, and we've seen it throughout Hurts' career right now so far.
Yeah.
Hurts cannot do anything against Tampa Bay for whatever reason. It just seems like, it just feels like they have this game plan against him that he can't figure it out. And
No.
other teams have tried to mirror that. I think that's what the Chiefs' game plan was coming into the Super Bowl, saying, all right, we're going to take Barkley away from you. What do you got?
Right.
And that was a mistake.
And it ended up being a big mistake because Hurts not only beat them with his arm, he beat them with his legs too, because he has 72 yards rushing.
Yeah.
My question is Daniels going to avoid hitting that wall, or are we going to see him struggle a lot more than he did this rookie year?
Okay. No, I just, I need a little clarification, but I think I get what you're saying by the gist of it. I think it's kind of unavoidable because, I talk a lot about my son, CJ Stroud.
There's a guy that hit the wall.
He struggled mightily throughout this season. Even though he was still good enough to get them to win their division and stuff like that, you could tell in games that certain teams like knew, as you said, like his weaknesses and how to kind of pick at him and test him to like, yo, how you gonna overcome this when we throw this at you?
Right.
You know? And also it didn't help that his receivers didn't stay healthy. But
no,
you could tell that he didn't just catch people like by storm the way he did his rookie year.
Yeah.
Rookie year, they were just like, God damn, who is this kid? Like, how can he just come in like that? And Jaden had a lot of that too this year. So I think next year they're gonna make him figure it out. Now I think that the Commies are still the second best team in the division, so they might be able to still win enough games to get in the playoffs. So I don't know if somebody's judging by how many games they win. I expect them to win 10 games. So I mean, that's not a fall off in that. But as far as performance, I think it'll be a lot tougher. And they're going to have tougher opponents. So
true.
That's
they'll be playing a second place schedule.
Yeah.
Yep. So and you got to figure within the division. I mean, calling it what it is, Dallas should be better with Dak in the lineup and not injured. I don't know what their defense is going to look like. Their defense is just the kid that they had that was showing out, overshown, tore his leg up. Yeah. And he may not, even if he does play, You're talking about a guy that may not be back until about November, given how bad of an injury that he suffered. But their defense is just okay. They have a good wide receiver core. I know that they're not like big names, except for CeeDee Lamb. I think Kavontae Turpin showed that he could be a quality receiver in the league. I don't know about their running back situation. Their running back situation is just, again, Dowdle is he's a below average running back.
He's like a Gainwell kind of.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the second,
By volume, you'll get to 1,000 yards. I don't think 1,000-yard rusher is as big of a deal now as it was back then.
I think now the bar should be probably set at about 1,200.
Right.
Yeah.
And clearly Zeke was washed. I don't even know why they brought Zeke back.
Absolutely
that was just a dumbass decision on their part.
I mean,
I don't know. Again, so we don't know, and Dallas is going to play a third place schedule this coming season. So we don't know what's going to happen as far as Dallas is concerned. I do think that it's a 2-horse race in the NFC East. I think it's really between the Eagles and the Commanders right now, but it'll depend on how far of a dip Jayden Daniels takes in his second year. I think we're going to see a little bit of one. If it's just a small one, I think Washington stays in the conversation. If it's a big one, they're in deep trouble.
Oh, yeah.
All right, last question. With the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select
John Carter.
Huh?
Carter.
Abdul Carter?
Abdul Carter.
You think they're going to take Abdul Carter anyway?
Even with the injury?
Because homeboy, it felt like he trying his best to drop to the Eagles. It feels that way. Like with all of the stuff that's been coming out, like he wasn't going to be at the combine, and now he's got an injury that may need surgery. Like, dude, you're too good of a player to drop all the way to 32nd. Like, even if you move down a couple of spots because teams aren't really sure of where you're going to be at,
I'll tell you that.
you're not dropping on the board all the way to the Eagles. I see what you're doing, though. I see what you're doing, and I like it. But no, it's not going to work.
No.
I think Carter's going number 1. John, you think they're going to go offense, or you think they're going to take Carter?
Where's Travis Hunter projected at?
I think he's projected at like 2 or 3.
Should he?
Because I don't.
Cleveland,
he could go 1.
At 2.
He could go 1.
He could go 1.
But he could go 1.
If the Titans decide that they want offense, he'll definitely go 1.
Well, is he going to be the Devin Hester player, play offense and defense?
I think so. I think his rookie year they will. I think in his rookie year they will for sure try it, and then they'll know by the end of that year whether they got to nix that plan and make him play one way or the other. Yeah. Or he'll be good enough to play both, but he got to play sparingly in both.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm like when I see Travis Hunter, he reminds me a little bit of Charles Woodson. Woodson could play both, but he was clearly better on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that it's the reverse. I think Hunter is a better receiver than he is corner. I think that he'll probably be a situational nickelback, but he's going to start at wide receiver. Like I think that's what you should do with him. He should start at wide receiver and be a situational defensive back.
Did he run in the combine?
I don't think he is.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I want to know exactly. I want to know exactly how fast he is. That's the determining factor for me. Like I've seen him cover dudes. And I'm like, all right, yeah, but I want to know just how fast he is. If he's like 4.3, I want him to be my defensive back and then play, sometimes offensively. Because he got the coverage skills. He could jam you at the line, he could play off, he could do everything.
Right.
But as far as it's the makeup speed, I don't know how much he was tested collegiately as far as the speed you're gonna need for some of these top-notch receivers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's a much different game when you're talking about, you got to defend Justin Jefferson, you got to defend Tyreek Hill, you got to defend. I mean, even with the guy like Worthy is a burner. You're gonna see that in the league. Again, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't think he will.
Right.
Additional question. I know only said 5. Shedeur Sanders. You guys think he's going to go in the top 5?
Depends on what your boys, the Giants, do.
Yeah.
Even though I don't see them taking not to be racial.
You can say it. No, say it. Say it. Because I was going to say it.
I don't see them taking a black quarterback. I don't see them taking Ward or Shedeur.
And you know what? It's not necessarily a racial thing to say. These guys were the last team in football to start a black quarterback, and it was by circumstance because their starting quarterback was hurt. So it's not like we're talking about a team that, they intentionally went into the game saying we're starting this guy. You had no choice. If not for that, they would still be on that list of being the last team to not start a black quarterback. Now, listen. I think that the mindset has to change. I think that if Cam Ward is there, I think Ward will definitely get taken by the Giants. I think they'll be more inclined to take him than they will Shedeur Sanders. And if that happens, I don't think Shedeur goes in the top
5. No, you're right.
All right. Well, listen, we already spoke about the Commanders sending a 5th-round pick to the 49ers for Deebo Samuel. So let's move right into talking about basketball. Now, I don't want to talk about it. I don't. I 100% do not want to talk about it. But in the interest of fairness, I did say in our NBA season preview that if it was relevant, I would talk about the Sixers. So we got to talk about the fact that the Sixers have now shut down Joel Embiid for the rest of the season. This should have happened months ago. He was hurt. You could tell that he wasn't getting any better. Like, what in the absolute hell is going on in South Philly? Like, it's been a complete shit show, for lack of a better term. I don't know what direction this team is trying to head in. This putting Maxey and George and Embiid together, it's not working. It hasn't worked.
No.
You've had some combination of the 3 of them missing games. Excuse me. Embiid has been out for the most of the season anyway. He's almost at a point in his career. He's missed more games than he's played.
Yep.
Podcast P talking about he gonna focus more on playing ball and less on doing his podcasting. You keep bringing in these no-name guys to just fill in roster spots. I can't, man. I can't. Like I refuse to let this team get under my skin this way. Like, it honestly, I don't think I've watched the equivalent of one full game all season.
You were saying that.
I haven't.
Yesterday.
Like this is the honest to God truth.
It's bad.
I watched the 4th quarter of the Christmas game against Boston. I watched a piece of the Spurs game a couple of months back. And because nothing else was on, I watched the end of the Warriors game yesterday. That's it. That is the extent to how much I've watched this team this year. I don't have it in me to let my pressure rise any more than it already has watching this team. I'm good. Like I'm good. Like now on like I guess maybe at the end of the season we'll break down all of the BS that's going on this year. They did end their 9-game losing streak Saturday night. They beat the Warriors. Quentin Grimes, and I found myself asking, who the hell is Quentin Grimes? Quentin Grimes had 44 points last night. Damn near had a 50-burger. I think he was like 1 for 6 from the free throw line. Like, come on, dude. You had a chance to get 50 last night and you blew it. That is like that is so indicative of this Sixers team, man. You had a chance to do something special, but you can't get out of your own damn way, and you end up with just 44 points. So,
but look, this is the thing you didn't mention. As bad as they are, as bad as all this is, you would think they would go full tank mode, lean all the way in. Yet they find a way to still win a game. And the problem with that is not driving the draft pick up in the rankings. We could lose that pick. We owe that pick to OKC if it falls out of the top 6.
Well, you know what?
So I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, why would we win? And why would we win against the Warriors?
Listen, I'm gonna say it now. And I'm glad that you on this week, John. I'm glad that you on this week because I'm going to say it right here while you're here. And forget, like, this is not unfiltered, but I'm saying it. If any team can fuck this up, it's going to be the Bulls. Y'all going to find a way to fuck us, keep losing, and put us into the damn play-in, messing up our draft position even more.
Well,
come on, man.
We got more bad news today because Dosumu's out for the rest of the year. I'm like, oh, there goes another injury.
Here we go.
We can't stay healthy.
And now the Sixers want to be gaining confidence after beating the Warriors on national TV, man. Well, listen, while we in it, like,
Jimmy Butler.
Listen, yeah, I know we're going to put that little asterisk in there, but it doesn't matter. They didn't need Jimmy Butler to beat the Sixers, man.
No.
Like, you should have won that game.
No. Yeah.
Thanks, Warriors. All right, well, while we're talking about it, let's look at the standings. We'll start with the Western Conference. And listen, the Thunder holding that number 1 spot. They are 9.5 games up on the Nuggets, who are in the 2 spot. The Lakers are 3rd in a virtual tie with the Grizzlies, who are at 4th. And quick little thing. Another thing we didn't get a chance to talk about. So the Mavericks are just like trying to move or something? Like, are they trying to like piss off their fans to the point where they don't show up anymore? You traded Luka within the conference to the Lakers. And then you get Anthony Davis and Mr. Glass, as usual. That train is never late. He's hurt again. He got hurt just like that.
Never.
On a non-contact injury at that. Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, if I was, listen, and I thought being in Philly was bad. Jeez, it's got to be terrible to be in Dallas right now. Wow.
You got the Cowboys stinking, and on top of that,
and then the Mavericks owner just gave Luka away for no good reason, man. No good damn reason.
Yeah, just get out of here.
I don't know how the GM got the owner to co-sign. I mean, maybe the owner didn't know. Maybe the owner found out when everybody else found out, because apparently they were doing secret dinners, him and Palenko, and I'm like, what was Palenko doing at the dinner? Showing up with a little notepad, talking about, we got your daughter, dog. Like,
listen, he probably came in with a line of escorts and said, "Look, man, you can have some real fun tonight, man. On me, I got you. Just give us Luka. Just give us Luka. Listen, man, they'll do whatever it is that you want. Whatever it is that you want. Just give us Luka." And he said, "Sure, you got it." See, and the funny thing about that was people on Twitter were at Mark Cuban's neck about the trade, and he don't even own the Mavericks no more. They're like, that's how bad it was.
He still has a share in him,
yeah, but he's not the majority owner.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Like, Mark Cuban wouldn't have signed off on that. Like,
no.
But you got
no, we gotta stay on this a little bit more because
go ahead.
The press conferences that they had following this event. My man Nico got Jason Kidd beside him, looking like bewildered, like he don't know what to say, and like he about to just strangle this dude. And and they asked Kidd, I think they asked Kidd this one question, like, about the logistics of the trade and everything. And before Jason Kidd could get a word out, Nico stepped in and was like, I make all the decisions around here. And Jason Kidd was like, woo, thank God you said that, motherfucker.
Yeah, because it ain't on me. I'm glad you took all the heat off of me, bro.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Just for the record, y'all heard the man. Like,
I
saw the look on his face.
And again, as if I thought what we had going on up here with the Sixers was a shit show. At least the GM ain't do nothing that stupid. Like, that is just you just, I don't get it.
Wait. The Bulls general manager is probably right underneath the Dallas general manager. How do you get no first round picks for Caruso, Levine, or DeRozan?
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad too.
No sense.
Especially when teams is just handing first round picks out in trades like left and right.
The Warriors was trying to give y'all a first round pick for Levine.
And this is the same guy that drafted Joker. I was like, how? Would you get lucky?
Yeah, yes, that's exactly what happened.
In the second round, he got lucky.
Yep. All right. The Rockets and Clippers are sitting at 5th and 6th in the last two non-play-in spots in the West. The Warriors lost to the Sixers, dropped them down to 7th, and that's well deserved. If you can't beat the Sixers, you should be in the play-in. 8 through 10 is like a virtual tie between the Kings, T-Wolves, and Mavs. Somehow the Mavs are still on that play-in line. You got the Suns just outside the playoff picture at 11th. They are 3.5 games behind Dallas. How in the world have the Suns fell off like that to where they are fighting for a play-in spot?
I have no idea.
Their GM is about 4th then. When we talk about the other, because I already knew this was a bad idea from the rip. Yeah, I mean, you get Bradley Beal, and you have Bradley Beal, add him on to Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and what you have is the same player at 3 different heights, basically. And they're all, you know what I'm saying? And none of them are particularly playmakers. The only defender out of them, I would say, is Durant. And, I mean, come on, you're talking about a 36-year-old guy playing defense, and he's not like a defensive stalwart. You know what I'm saying? He just plays good positional defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they have no playmaker. They all do about the same thing. They don't have no depth on their bench. And on top of that, Bradley Beal, y'all knew this, getting him, that he got the no trade clause.
Which makes it even worse.
Which makes it even worse because, first of all, Washington, I know they're laughing because they're like, yo, we was the dickheads to give this guy the only no trade clause outside of LeBron in the whole league. This guy got it. And we were able to get him out of here and strap him to another team.
And they will accept being bad right now because they're in rebuild mode anyway.
Yeah. I think they got a nice little rebuild idea going on, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. The contracts, they cleaning them out, and they about to have a bunch of young players.
Yep.
You know.
All right. Well, let's talk about the East right now. The Cavs 7.5 games up on the defending champion Celtics, who are second. The Cavs did themselves a huge favor Friday night. The Celtics were up 25-3 in the first quarter.
Jason Tatum was like,
Oh yeah, listen, Jason Tatum is definitely a dumbass of the week candidate for giving Cleveland to get the fuck out of here gesture when it was 25-3. Yeah, well, the
Idiot.
Celtics lost 123-116. I mean, dude, it was the first quarter. You still had 3+ quarters left to play. The game is far from over at that point, man. Like, I
Little
don't
bit too
like
early.
that's what you get. That's exactly what you get. The Knicks are third with the Bucks, Pacers, and Pistons at 4-6. The Pistons.
Yeah.
Hold on.
6.
You will
What the
never
hell is
hear
going?
me say.
Wait.
You will
What
never
the
hear
hell
me
is
say
going on?
anything good about the Pistons.
The Pistons are holding on to a playoff spot, not a play-in spot, a playoff spot. They are 4.5 games up on the Heat, who the Tobias Harris is going to the playoffs, y'all.
Again.
That shit can't get any worse, man. It can't get well. Yes, it can. It can get worse, and I'm gonna tell you how it can get worse. The Heat are sitting at 7. The Magic, Hawks, and Bulls are 8-10. Chicago 2.5 up on the Sixers for the last spot. How can it get worse? The Sixers actually end up making it into that 10th seed. That's how this can get worse. I'm gonna need your Bulls to get y'all shit together, man. Do not blow this and put the Sixers in the playoffs, man. I don't care if it's just a play-in line. Don't put this team in the playoffs.
Okay.
All right, well, listen, one last basketball note. John, you got a little bit of a rant to go on right now in terms of LeBron James at the All-Star game, waiting until the day of to announce that he was too hurt to play, meaning they couldn't replace him at that point because you waited all the way up until game day.
Yeah.
An hour.
I was gonna say damn near tip off.
Damn near tip off to say that you weren't gonna play. Now, here's the thing. Before you go into this rant, John, and I'm gonna let you have it because this is gonna be beautiful. All-Star weekend sucks. Okay. I don't know what the league can do to change it. I'm good with the celebrity game. I'm okay with the rookie class playing. Yeah, I'm okay with that. The 3-point contest is still interesting to watch. The slam dunk contest has gotten way too gimmicky now. Shout out to Mac McClung winning again. But this concept now with the All-Star game. This concept with the All-Star game now. This is what we doing now? Like, nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. It is easily the worst among the big four sports. And again, I know everybody is going to say the same thing about the Pro Bowl. At least they're doing something interesting with the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
At least they have these like skill competitions that go towards points. And granted, it's the Pro Bowl. Nobody's really hitting or blitzing in the Pro Bowl. Like everybody talks about the Sean Taylor hit blowing up the punter in the Pro Bowl. How often did you see guys doing that in the Pro Bowl?
Not often.
It was like it might as well have been touch football out there. Them guys wasn't hitting like that. So I get it. Switching to that flag football style game, made sense.
It's fun.
The NBA just throwing shit at the wall, trying to see what's sticking. It's not working. No. And now the new concept is USA versus the world for an All-Star game.
Well, most of the top players is in the world.
Yeah.
Well, how many USA players you gonna get out of that team?
Yeah.
Not a bunch, not a handful of young ones. Most of the best Team USA players is the guys that was in the Olympics, and they all like at the tail ends of their career.
Yep,
exactly.
But John, go ahead in on LeBron for that bullshit missing the All-Star game.
Mr. LeBron James, as well and as good as you think you are, your statements and your showing of anything lately has been, how should we say, piss poor. You wait until an hour before game time An hour before game time. No, I'm not playing. Then when everybody's taking the group photos, you don't even want to dress up. I'll stay in street clothes. What? And then that other stupid statement you said this week. Nobody wants to be the face of the league. Welcome to Michael's world when he was getting guff from all sorts of directions. He took it and he won titles. You're doing it and losing. Make up your mind. Who's the GOAT? Just make up your mind.
Well, listen, my whole thing on this GOAT conversation, and I'm not going to get too deep into it. Like, I'm not even going to just list off like championship accomplishments. Yeah, LeBron has a lot of individual accolades that comes with being in the league for 20 plus years.
But then again, so does Mike.
But here's my thing to that. You know, I think that there's no player in the history of the league that chose the easiest path every chance they got. I'm sorry. And you want to sit up here and you want to sit up here and talk about, you know, just the 4 years in Miami. You stack that roster, and in 4 years you only won 2 championships.
Yeah.
That's it. You were one of the worst players on the court in that first run, getting beat by Jason Terry and JJ Barea.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like that automatically disqualifies you from talking about being the GOAT in my eyes, because the GOAT shows up all the time. The GOAT is the best player on the field all the time. I'm not saying that you're not going to have your failures, because again, it's still a team game. But when you don't show up multiple times in championship moments, I'm sorry. You're disqualified from that conversation.
It's just getting to the point where it's getting absolutely ridiculous. Like for like guys like Shannon Sharp defending this clown, because I'm going to call him a clown. And then you have hockey players out of nowhere like PK Subban trashing your league. I've never heard Mario Lemieux or Wayne Gretzky trashing the NBA. Never. Sidney Crosby wasn't trashing Kobe. Nope. Never heard of it. That's
a conversation again. Like, even besides the Sixers, you know, and I know I said that I wasn't going to watch the Sixers. I haven't been interested in watching basketball much, period. Like, it's just a bad league right now. It is. It's just a bad league with a handful of star level players, not even superstar players, a handful of star level players, a bunch of mediocre players, and then a handful of superstars. But the superstars aren't playing every night.
No.
Well, that's the real problem, I think.
That's the other problem I got.
You don't have the superstars playing every night. I think the league has always been kind of, you know, a handful of superstars, then a lot of stars, and then, you know, the rest is like, you know, the average player. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is you got your superstar players to play 75, 80, 82 games more seasons than that.
Yeah. True.
And you never had them run away from their duties to answer questions to the media and all that stuff. You have guys now, they don't want to say nothing, some of them say things that's so outrageous that it make the media not want to. They'd be like, hey, we can't keep putting you on TV, you know, you keep talking like this, you know, Anthony Edwards. And then nobody's really, and in this generation coming up, as far as players coming, the young players coming into their prime, they're trying to sort out this face of the league thing. And I think the league doesn't know who to push. And the players themselves, as they said, like they kind of don't want that mantle anyways. I think they can't handle the scrutiny. And I get this is a different era as far as the media. Social media wasn't out back then, you know, in the 90s, 80s, 2000, early 2000s. So they didn't have to deal with, you know, the Twitters, the YouTubes, the TikToks, and all that type stuff. People that's just got something to say. Anybody could say something. They only had to worry really about news reporters and stuff like that. and in-game analysts and commentators and, people that's actually there in the sport. Now, anybody can do like what we doing. We analyze the game. We put it out there to the public, our views. So the everyday person can do that. I can see, you shy away from that, but at the same time, this is one part of your job. You're getting paid more than ever.
A lot more money than what.
What previous generations were getting paid.
So Jordan put it best. I think it was him and Barkley were doing some kind of interview. Jordan's like, when I got paid my money, I earned all that money.
That's a big part of it too.
The kids coming in now, their hopes and wish. Here's a bag full of money.
Yeah, they get too much money too quick. You
can suck horribly, but here's a bag of money.
Yeah.
Based off of potential.
And here's my thing.
Based off potential.
And here's my thing. When we talking about this face of the league thing, like let's be for real. Unfortunately, there is no one that they can pick to be the face of the league right now because nobody stands out. We don't have a singular standout person that you can point to and say, there's the guy that you should watch every year. You don't. You have a couple of guys where it's like, hey, if they're on, maybe you should tune in. The league isn't doing a good enough job of marketing these players. And if there's no one singular face of the league, tell us who the faces of the league are that we should be watching and paying attention to. See, the difference is there wasn't a seamless transition into these things. When, except for Magic and Bird took the mantle from Dr. J. That was seamless. Jordan took the mantle from Magic and Bird. That was seamless. There was no seamless transition from Jordan to the next player.
Right.
There's a space in time before you could point the finger and say Kobe's the face of the league.
Yeah. Like a couple years after.
And it kind of, but it grew kind of, like you said, it took a couple of years, but then it grew when the Lakers went on their little dynastic run.
Right,
it became Shaq and Kobe.
It became Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, and then AI as a cultural icon.
Right. And then you go from that to, I mean, again, LeBron. once Kobe's time was done, and it was LeBron's turn. So now, and then it went from LeBron to Steph, because you can definitely reasonably say that there was a period of time where Steph was definitely the face of the league.
Oh, absolutely.
So now in this post Steph LeBron era, where they're starting to get to the tail end of their career, there hasn't been anyone to step up and stand out. But Jokic, I don't see Jokic as being considered the face of the league. When we say face of the league, that doesn't necessarily mean we're talking about the best player in the league.
Right.
Because I think there was a point where you could argue that AI was the best player in the league, but he wasn't the face of the league.
Right.
The face of the league was Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So I don't see it right now. I don't see the NBA marketing one guy to be the face of the league. It has to be a collection of these young guys. And if it's going to be that collection of these young guys, they need to be on the court.
Right.
You need to be marketing them. It needs to be a big deal when these guys are coming to your city.
So I got something to say. I got a question. Do y'all think that when Zion came out that he was supposed to kind of be that guy?
He could have been.
But then his injuries got him out of it. And then after him, you think Ja, but then Ja runs into the issues.
And then Ja wants to be a dickhead. So you disqualified yourself from that spot.
Yeah.
And then I think the next person after that, because like you said, we're in a shaky era. We're trying to find who it is. Right. I think the next person after that is like Jason Tatum, because he kind of looks the part. And he's part of a historical franchise, but for whatever reason, it's like he don't stand out.
He don't have an it factor.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an it factor to be the face of the league.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And then here's the thing. You know that they would love to set up Wembanyama to be the face of the league, right?
Yeah.
He's out for the rest of the season. So there went that one.
That's hopefully
you're back to the drawing board again.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's fluky. I think another thing, this backdoor Luka trade thing was trying to get a guy like that in LA.
In LA?
Yeah. And I think they want to do Luka or Wembanyama or both. But the fact of the matter is, there's also part of the NBA. They don't want it to be a foreigner. And I think that's the thing they've been fighting against too. They fighting against not letting a foreigner be the face of the league. They keep trying to make sure that it's an American guy. That's why it's been like Zion and Ja and kind of on Jason Tatum, but he ain't it. He ain't got it. And then there's Ant-Man. Like Ant-Man's kind of like the guy right now. I see him in a lot of commercials and stuff. Yeah. He's kind of looking like it because they don't want to put Luka or Wemby as the face of the league. But I think they're going to have to acquiesce. I think they're going to have to. I mean, they talk all this stuff about going global, but then they don't want to make a international player, a foreigner, the face of the league.
Yeah, they're going to have to. But even when you look at, you're talking about Anthony Edwards possibly being the face of the league. Look at where his team is right now. They're like,
well, that's
fighting
because
for a playing spot.
That's because when he was naming the GMs, their GM is now. I mean, even though I do think that in a way that they had to do something with Cat if they didn't think that pairing was going to be the pairing that gets them over the top. Right. I just think that, I mean, Julius Randle, like, you could have did a better deal than that. Because, I mean, Julius Randle, it looks like they're just going to get him up out of there. Mm-hmm. They make him wait for money to.
Well, we said that. We said that when we talked about the trade, that it didn't make any sense. Like, the Knicks were still going to be right where they are right now. And Minnesota was probably going to go backwards. And that's what happened.
Exactly what happened. So. But I think I do trust that Minnesota will bounce back. I think Ant-Man's that good of a player. And they just they should have been playing Rob Dillingham more, the rookie. He's pretty nice. Instead of playing Conley, who's another one of the old heads.
Yep.
But I think next season, I think they'll have a bounce back next season. So I'm not that worried about them.
Right. No, it just legitimately feels like the old guard is still in control of the league.
It is.
And until the old guard is out of there, it's going to be hard to find that guy or group of guys who are the face of the league, because whether you like it or not, it's still Steph and LeBron and KD. It's still their league right now. Yeah. They're still holding on. And it's at the point where one of these younger players is going to have to start stepping up to take it away. All right, well, listen, let's get a couple of quick notes before we get into our weekly awards and wrap the show up. Tank Davis can thank the referee that he's still the WVA lightweight champion. His fight with Lamont Roach Saturday night ended a majority draw. 2 judges scoring the fight even, although the third gave him a 115-114 decision. Davis took a knee in the 9th round after being hit with a jab, but the ref ruled that there wasn't a knockdown. Now, I've heard tons of excuses that guys have made in fights for getting knocked down or actually knocked down. Well, Tank blamed the reason why he took a knee was because his own hair grease got into his eyes.
Dummy.
Yeah, hair grease got in your eyes, and your eyes were burning, and that's why you had to take a knee.
So you take a knee. You take a knee because of that.
You fight, you sweat. You don't think that logically the grease in your hair gets mixed with the sweat and will drip down your face? Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. So instead of Roach winning that round 10-8, 2 of the judges scored it 10-9 for Tank, and that would have swung the fight in Roach's favor. So I can see them doing a rematch. I do. I can see a rematch coming between these two. It needs to happen. And unless Davis decisively wins the rematch, I think people are going to say that he should have lost this one.
Yeah, that's the word I'm getting to. I'm mad I didn't even get to see it, but everybody was been telling me about this since last night. So
yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
I'm going to look at it myself. But from what you said just then, man, not baseball, boxing. Just always some weird shenanigans with the judgments.
Every time, and that's why you gotta take these fights. You gotta take it out of the judge's hands sometimes. And again, I know Tank is notorious for starting slow, so yeah. I'm pretty sure he was giving rounds away. But the fact that he got knocked down and the ref didn't rule it a knockdown, that changed the whole fight. It changes the whole fight because now, again, instead of this guy getting a 10-8 round, which switches the scores, gives him a majority decision. Yeah. He loses the fight. Well, he loses the fight because it ended in a draw. So, I mean, yeah, they got to fight again. We'll get more into the March Madness conversation next time we're on. It's looking like another wide open year. There's no clear favorites right now. Sadell, calm down. Calm down, buddy. Just a little bit. We know Duke has a legitimate shot at a championship this year. And no, John and I are not happy about that at all. No. We know you guys are in the mix. So what we know is you guys are either going to the Final Four or it's going to be a surprising exit in the second round. Like somebody going to knock y'all off that shouldn't have beat y'all.
There's no in between.
That's y'all MO, man. There's never any in between with y'all. Listen, if you're a gamer, you got some good releases coming soon. I did the demo of PGA 2K25. Still on the fence about whether I'm gonna buy it. I'm already like all in with this year's MLB The Show. John, you're losing your Game Pass version of MLB The Show this year. So if you want the game, you're gonna have to buy it, buddy.
Oh man,
like the rest of us. I told you that shit was going to end at some point, man. They wasn't going to keep giving that to y'all exclusively. Like Sony wasn't going to just keep passing that money off. It was like a 4-year run, huh?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, like 3-4 years. Y'all kept getting that. Nah, man. Nope.
Free.
Excuse the faces I'm making. Real quick. Denver has come back in this game.
Boston blowing another lead.
Yeah, they're only. Never mind. They just hit 3.
See, there it is. We spoke too soon, man.
It's 3 minutes left in the fourth. It's an 8-point game. It was a 5-point game. Boston just hit a 3, and the Nuggets just got it back. So
it's back to a 5-point game.
With 3 minutes.
Well, we about to be out of here. We can probably catch the rest of that before it's over. WWE 2K25 is also releasing soon. I want to see what that My Career mode is like. They have a thing now where like you can just freely roam around and jump into matches with other people. Like that sounds interesting. PGA 2K25 has the same exact feature where you can go around and there's different modes on how you can, I guess, play the game. So if you're someone that uses the stick shot, you can jump in a tournament with people that use the stick shot. If you use the 3-click mode, you can jump in with people that only use the 3-click mode. So that to me sounds pretty damn interesting. We'll have more on that. If I get it, I'll have a review. I am getting MLB The Show. I'll have a review after about a week of playing the game. Well, yeah, because you can't get it for free, John. That's why. Listen, speaking of WWE, speaking of the WWE, John, we haven't talked wrestling in a long time, and we are like solidly on the road to WrestleMania. And what a turn of events Saturday at Elimination Chamber. John Cena has finally gone heel. He's finally gone to the dark side. He's joining forces with The Rock and for some odd reason, Travis Scott. What the hell was Travis Scott even out there for, man? What was he doing out there? No, they said he was burning sage. Was he burning sage or was he getting high?
Both.
Because if he was, that's the second time he's been on WWE TV just blazing up. Like, dog, like, put a stop to that. But anyway, John Cena won the chamber match in the main event thanks to an assist by Seth Rollins, who took out CM Punk, putting Cena in the WrestleMania main event match versus WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Now, a couple weeks ago, The Rock had this lengthy, rambling promo saying he wanted Cody's soul. More accurately, he wanted Cody to turn heel and join him by turning corporate. He offered him like movie deals and cars and everything. Listen, John, and I said it. He could have wrapped it up a lot quicker than that and got to the point. The man was just going on.
Like 15 minutes before that.
Like it was unnecessary. Like, dog, get to the point. But I thought once he got to the point, like I sat up a little bit like, what do you mean you want his soul? Like
soul, yeah.
What kind of devil's advocate type shit is you on right now?
Yeah.
Now, before it happened, they all came down to the ring after the match. Cody came down, sort of congratulating them, setting up that image where they're right by the WrestleMania sign. And that's usually what they play in the promos before the match.
Yep.
And then The Rock came out with Travis Scott. And now he's asking Cody, I need an answer.
Yeah.
And you kind of thought that Cody was going to, bite and go for it. And then in one of, to me, one of the most shocking things you've ever heard, uncensored on any WWE program, Cody told The Rock, go fuck yourself, right? And they didn't bleep it. Now, mind you, they usually, during the match, when Logan Paul was in his pod, the crowd was chanting, fuck you, Logan, right?
Yeah.
But they were editing out the curse. Yeah. So for them to let this one slip through was like, whoa.
I don't think
they did that on purpose. They definitely did that on purpose because it had a whole hell of a lot more impact than had they bleeped it, right? Yes. And then Cena hugs Cody and then kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wait, what? Oh, we're doing it.
Yes.
The Rock and Cena and Travis Scott. are they beat Cody Rhodes down.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't want you saw the press conference, and John, you shared it. Cena just dropped the mic and ain't say nothing. I don't want him saying nothing. Don't explain yourself. Don't give me no explanation for why you did it. This is supposed to be. Listen, this is supposed to be Cena's last run.
Yep.
So in December, he's leaving and he's never coming back again. Right. If there was ever the right time and the right person for this to happen against, it's here. This was the perfect time for them to do it.
And versus Cody.
So I can't wait. And then on a smaller scale, did we really find out who it was that attacked Jade Cargill?
No.
Or do you still think it was Bianca?
It might have been Bianca.
Because now, Sadell, I know you listen. We talk about this within the group.
Yeah.
Just put them three women right next to each other, man.
Yeah.
Just stand them right next to each other. Just stand Bianca, Jade Cargill, and Naomi right next to each other. And listen, you can't make a wrong pick there, man. You can't. You can't go wrong. Jade Cargill looks like a legit live action Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naomi is caked up, and then Bianca got that she's got that cuteness factor to her, and then she's muscular, but it's not muscular.
Like Jordan Grace muscular.
Yeah, how she turned super muscular. It's not like that.
To each their own.
Man, you know what?
To each their own. But
getting a little warm in here, so let's go ahead and close this show out. John, dumbass of the week. Who you got?
Paul George.
Damn.
Now, what did Paul George do to deserve dumbass of the week?
I'm going to focus more on our championship title run other than a podcast. Do you know where the Sixers are lying at?
What championship run? What championship run?
It can't be the in-season tournament because that's over.
What championship run, man?
That's the only run you possibly could have had.
These bastards ain't going in a championship run on NBA 2K25 unless you turn all the sliders up. Come on, man. Championship run. Anyway,
Title run.
Sidell, who's your person of the week?
Give me Juju Watkins, man. She dropped 30 on UCLA last night. She was frying them girls, man. She's tough too. They played a very physical game with UCLA. Obviously, that's the second time they faced off this year, and they completed the sweep, the in-season sweep at least. I expect they're going to see each other in the Big Ten. that didn't even roll on the Big Ten conference tournament. I expect those two to face off for the championship. But yeah, Juju came out on fire and she led her team to another great victory, man. I'm wondering what the rankings are going to be like because the last time they beat them, they still ended up having UCLA ranked above them. I can't see that happening this time.
No, I don't think so.
So
one thing I want to say, very, very, very telling situation here that you are telling us, all of us, that you watched the USC UCLA women's game last night and the Sixers and Warriors were on at the same time.
Yep.
So that goes to show just how far the Sixers have fallen.
Championship run. Yeah.
Yeah. My ass championship run. I got you.
It was no way I was gonna watch the damn Sixers, bro. Like
nobody cares.
I ain't gonna lie and see I didn't peek at the game. But that was when the girls' game went to halftime.
Right. Quick thing. If you're interested, pretty much Sixers tickets are going for less than $5 on StubHub. So I'm not going because they couldn't pay me to go down there and watch that shit show. I'm good. I don't even want to watch it on TV, let alone spend $10 for 2 tickets, plus fees to go down there and watch the game. Yeah. I'm good. I'll pass.
Need for that.
I want to watch this week. Listen, have a good time, man. Enjoy yourself. Grab seats near the Sixers dancers.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
I just want to see Maxey play, man. I want to get a chance to see him play in person.
Listen, man. Now I will say this. Now, if you want to do like a threes on fire night at the Sixers game, where we could just where I could possibly listen, where I could, and where I could possibly be drunk by the time halftime is over because I know I ain't gonna enjoy watching the game. I want to be. Listen,
we'll be
I want to either be
the whole game.
Listen, I either want to be. I either want to have fun or be too drunk to remember what happened the next day. One of those has to be the option.
All right,
I can't do it. Listen,
that sounds like we gotta make that happen, yo. We
do. Before that does sound fun.
Totally unfiltered.
Yeah. Oh, and listen, and we gotta do a Phillies game this year too, man. I know we've been talking about
gonna be there.
Definitely gotta do a Phillies game this year. Listen, I wouldn't even care. Like John, I'm serious. I wouldn't even care if we were at the rooftop bleachers.
No.
Near the Ashburn Alley. Just to enjoy the game and just have a good time talking shit and enjoying the game talking shit.
Yeah.
My what to watch this week. If you guys haven't seen it, it's called Unlocked on Netflix. It's basically about a prison in Arkansas where the sheriff who runs the prison decides that they're going to unlock the cell doors 24/7. and I think it's supposed to be like a 6-week experiment. This is an area of the prison where these guys are usually on 23-hour lockdown, and they only got an hour to be out of their cells. So he's doing this to see if he can change the behavior within the prison and sort of kind of change the culture of things. I got to admit, I was expecting the first couple of episodes, like everything to go off the rails, like for there to be like multiple fights and dudes like doing all types of things that they ain't had no business doing.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, like a couple of episodes in, with the exception of the power struggle between the older inmates and the younger inmates, there hasn't really been anything crazy dumb that's happened. Like there was one guy who got his ass whooped because he didn't know how to shut his mouth. But other than that, like it's been pretty tame. So I'm gonna end up watching the rest of it probably at some point between today and tomorrow. I know I'm sitting here. I got the Phillies on mute. I'll probably watch a little basketball today. But other than that, like if you haven't seen Unlocked on Netflix, check that out. All right, we're here at the end, fellas. You guys got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I think I said all I gotta say.
No, I'm ready to dive deep more into NFL Combine and looking at the draft prospects and ready for March Madness to begin.
Yeah. All right, and we'll definitely talk about bracketology and what Joe Lunardi from ESPN has projected right now. And I got to admit, over the last several years, he's been spot on about the tournament and who's getting in and who's not getting in. Every now and then there's been like a little bit of a shock where the people in that room from the committee has chosen a team that did not belong over someone that Joe Lunardi had clearly making it. And from a perspective here, just talking about the City Six, I don't see any local team getting in this year. I don't see any local team getting in this year. Nova's going to have to go on an amazing run right now to get in. They're going to have to, at the very least, make the Big East final. And if they don't, they're not getting in. Temple would have to win the American. St. Joe's would have to win the Atlantic 10. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I think we're going to.
I'm hoping that Rutgers could find their way in, but because I'm interested in the prospects. They have two top-notch NBA prospects on their team, and Ace Bailey and what's the other boy name? Dylan.
Okay.
Yeah. But
John, you got that North Carolina gear on. North Carolina right now is in a fight for their lives to get in too. They're clearly on the bubble. So
tell me about it.
We'll break down bracketology. We'll talk about these conference tournaments.
Put in some work, Carolina. Put in some damn work. You're embarrassing the ACC, man.
This guy
here, man. Every time
y'all
good, man. Every time
y'all let Stanford come in and beat y'all, man. Come on.
You know what, Sadell? I think this is a good time to end the show, man. You too happy about your Duke Blue Devils. But look, we'll check you guys out next time around. We'll talk about bracketology, the combine, and everything else going on in sports. And a little bit of pop culture, too. Before we get out of here, one last thing I do want to say. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Rest in peace, Roberta Flack. Another tough week losing legends, man. And Michelle Trachtenberg. Some of you younger viewers may remember her as Harriet the Spy. She was also on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, man. Rest in peace to those legends. And we will check you guys out the next time we are on the air.